Today we are here. It's me, KiLiK, the luminary, shining light, present in the moment now. I am going to read a bit of this book today called Learning Latin Through Mythology. And the cover story features the story that we're going to read. This is the story of Apollo and Phaëthon. Phaëthon. And here, if you examine the cover, you see an elder and a younger riding a chariot pulled by equines, by horses, with a flaming ball behind them. Ball on fire, a light. It looks like a dragon, a serpent, the fiery serpent. Atala Atal. Or as they say, the sun, soul. Yeah, and they have certain iconography and imagery. We're gonna dodge the hijack, save the babies. Get a little love for the turtle. This book here was printed in 1991. It is designed as a companion tool for learning Latin. This delightful book uses mythology to recapture the interest and imagination of children so that they will want to know more about Latin and the classical world. Learning Latin through mythology retells well-known myths, first in English, then in simpler Latin, with guiding illustrations, followed by exercise and activities suited to this age level. Although no knowledge of Latin is assumed, the scope and linguistic sequence relate to first Latin courses that are currently in uses. It says all of them, everything from Diana and Actaeon, all the way to Perseus and Medusa. And finally, the final story, Phaëthon. To help students with the pronunciation of Latin, there is also a cassette tape available with the stories. Foregoing the cassette tape, I am making my own tape here with educational intention and to add my own illuminated flavor of context. So the story for the progeny. Pause, screenshot, examine further. Phaëthon. Phaëthon. Quote, "Let me drive the sun chariot for a day," Phaëthon begged his father Apollo. Apollo was sorry he had promised to grant his son anything he wished. The sun god knew that he alone could control the horses pulling the chariot. He begged his son to choose anything else, but Phaëthon would not change his mind. Apollo warned his son to follow the wheel marks and keep the middle path. And so what's happening here, family, this is a story starting in medias res, in the middle of things. It starts off with a quote from Phaëthon. Phaëthon is the main character of the story. He's speaking, "Daddy, I want to drive. Let me drive the boat. Let me drive the chariot. Let me carry the sun across the sky." He begging his dad, please. And Apollo, the sun god, the Almighty, is telling him, man, just be careful, son. Whatever you do, this is the sun. This is the burning ball of fire that lights up our omniverse. He's telling him, I'm begging you, son, choose anything else. You don't need to drive the sun. I know I told you I would grant any wish you wanted if you ate all your peas and carrots, but man, you can't drive the sun, bro. You only 100 years old. I'm 20,000 years old. I have been doing this for eons. And so he knew that Phaëthon would not change his mind. Once he realized that his son was stuck on that, he warned him. He said, okay, son, follow the wheel marks. I drive this chariot every day, every rising to rise and bring light to everything. There are wheel marks. As you drive the chariot, follow my path, son. Follow it and keep the middle path. And this here is a reference to different types of spirituality, but keeping the middle path, as we know, family is from the Tao, the yin and yang. There's also other spiritualities that follow middle path. So continuing on the story, Apollo warned his son to follow the wheel marks and keep the middle path. Soon after he began, though, Phaëthon became terrified, and in his distress, let go of the reins. The fiery chariot plunged so close to earth that it caused great destruction. So here he has gotten the trust. He said, "Okay, son, I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna give you the reins. You can." He said, Apollo knew himself that he was the only one who could control the horses. And it's not only the heat of the sun behind their neck. It's not only the weight and the speed of the celestial body, the luminary that they are carrying. It is the strength and the tameness of the horses that pull the chariot, which pulls the sun. And then he knew himself, Apollo, Heru. He knew that he himself was the only one who had that special relationships with the horses. The sun god knew that he alone could control the horses. And now when Phaëthon gets control, he gets control of the reins. He's overwhelmed. He says that Phaëthon becomes terrified in his power. With great power comes great responsibility. So Phaëthon is terrified and distressed. And in this distress, Phaëthon lets go of the reins. And as he's letting go of the reins that control the horses that drive the chariot, the fiery chariot descends. Now we get into the fall, family. We've talking about salute to Kudameo, King Drop, Talataoni, all the family, German, you know what I'm saying? Boo, Ahmad. We talk about all the family, Tasha, she. We talking in these ancient myths and stories where we're saying now that the fiery chariot has plunged, and when something plunges, it drops, it goes deep. So we talking about drop. Whenever there was a light fall, or a falling comet, or a celestial body, light body that falls out of the sky, it's been known by many names: a meteor shower, the sky is falling. What else they say? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. You put that in a telescope, you're gonna see these range of chroma spectra. Um, but I say that to say we think about the fall, right? The fall of the angels from heaven into this earth realm. So the fiery chariot plunged so close to earth that it caused great destruction. So imagine you got your fire, right? Uh, the fire right here, fireball in the sky. Yeah. Then it's the earth right here. The earth is low. And as it plunges close, the fire don't even got to touch the earth. The sun don't even have to come into contact. You start to see it smoke, right? As it gets closer and closer, the destruction that's caused on the surface of the earth is nigh uh, uh, undeniable. Any trees, any birds that float at this range, as the flame gets closer and closer, we see this destruction that Phaëthon is causing in his negligence. And we have to be aware, family, that even in our aura, we can cause much destruction through carelessness, fear, distress. And so just be aware that you can transmute and change things just by proximity. So, yeah, Phaëthon, in his fear, caused the fiery chariot to plunge close to earth, and it caused great destruction. And there, the earth itself was a living deity. You see, we have this flame of the sun being personified by the sun god and his son. The earth itself is also a luminary. She is a woman, right? Mother Earth, Gaia, Tamaray. She prayed to the Almighty, the Oneness, Hawa. And here they translated as Mother Earth prayed to Jupiter. She prayed to the one who controls them all. Father God, help me, please. The sun is on my neck. And in that moment, Jupiter killed Phaëthon with a lightning bolt, instantaneous. His body fell into a river on Mother Earth, where his sisters, the daughters of Apollo, they found his body. In their grief, as they lamented their fallen brother, they were changed into poplar trees. Come on, family, poplar trees? What did Nina Simone tell us? The poplar tree. You might have heard it from Kanye. They turned themselves into poplar trees, growing on the bank of the river. Their tears became glowing beads of amber. And also, where do we find the amber? Mexico. So in this last paragraph for the story family, we have new characters entering, right? At first it was just Apollo and his son Phaethon and the horses and the sun itself, Soul. And then in the second paragraph we enter in Apollo. Well, the first paragraph is Apollo's fear as well, his admonitions to his son being ignored. The second paragraph, Apollo's fears come to life. The wheel marks are ignored. Phaethon's fears personified. It causes him to let go of the reins. The chariot also personified, it drops. So then we get down low into Mother Earth in the last paragraph. She herself enters the stage and she prays to their father, their mutual controller, Jupiter, 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 the creator, the craftsman on the wheel. Jupiter, he killed Phaethon, Phoenix, Peacock, with a lightning bolt. Enoch. Enoch lived forever, but this Phaethon, he got struck down with a lightning bolt and became a river. So from the earth rises the plasma. His body again falls. He's falling from a higher realm into the waters through the firmament. The waters below. He don't breach the firmament. He's in the air. There's water on the earth into the river. He plunged. Sisters left their heavenly realm, came down to mourn their brother. And in their mourning, stuck, transformed into trees forever on the banks of the river. Now, family, let's transition into the Latin. In the beginning, we have Apollo est pater, Phaethon est filius. Apollo est pater is Apollo is the father. Phaethon is the son. And here we see father and son on the chariot, dragging the sun through the sky. See clouds, horses, big man, little man. Boom. And B, Phaethon equos agit sed patrem non adunt. Phaethon drives the horses, but he does not hear his father. Sed patrem non audit, but he does not hear his father. So now he done got the juice in his head. You feel me, man? Juiced up. He got the big head syndrome. He so geeked up, man. So fired up. He driving the boat. He done drove off with the horses, man. He can't even hear his dad say, man, slow down. Watch what you doing, son. Chill out. Be mindful. Ego, huge. Can't even hear past his ears. So as we see here in the photo, for those of you just listening, there is now Phaethon lonesome and soulless driving the chariot, the horses, off the tracks, swinging. The sun going crazy behind him, behind Phaethon. Now we go to storyboard C. Sol ad terram apropinquat. Sol est ferocissimus, terra ardent. Here it says, the sun comes close to the earth. Apropinquat, it means comes close. Ad terram, to earth, to the land. Terra, you know, terraforming, that's the earth. Okay, salute to the folks in the chat, man. I see you saying hello a bunch of times. And Sherrod, that's great. Ferocissimus. Sol est ferocissimus, meaning the sun is very ferocious. It's very strong. Terra ardet. Ardet means burn, like an arsonist. You got the earth burns, the land burns. Terra ardet. He done set the grass on fire. What I'm finna do after this. Boom. So, for folks listening, looking with their ears, listening, Now we see the chariot has went from the heavenly realm, the clouds. See, the clouds is now closer over the ocean. We see trees, we see the horizon, and in this moment we see the sun coming behind Phaëthon and his chariot that's lost control. And in its proximity, just like the fire to the uh, 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 tissue, it started to combust some of the plant material on the surface of Mother Earth. Destruction. Est ferocissimus. It's very ferocious. And now, in storyboard frame D, Phaëthon est peritus. Phaëthon perit. And here we know what's going on. R.I.P. Phaëthon. Phaëthon is very frightened. So now he getting all close to the earth. The horse is wilding. He can't control the reins. He's scared. He shook his whole body, leaning in the chariot. He knocking his head. Boom. He's scared. Phaëthon perit. Phaëthon dies. Phaëthon breathes his last breath. Now in the English transliteration, we get Jupiter has struck him with a lightning bolt. In the storyboard, we cut a little bit of that out. So to describe the photo here, now it's like the camera POV is from the chariot. You see the wheel of the chariot in the bottom left frame or the square picture. You see Phaëthon has dropped from the chariot. He's earthbound. He's falling towards the river. His arms are up in distress. His head is thrown back. His legs thrown back. He's out of control. This man is already dead. And now he's falling, plunging. R.I.P. Phaëthon. Picture storyboard E. Sororis. Phaëthonta lugent. The sisters of Phaëthon mourn. So now we see the three sisters. Now think about it, family. What's the three sisters? We got all these stars in the sky. We talk about the seven sisters, the Pleiades, the different celestial bodies, luminaries, and so forth. His three sisters have come earthbound to the river, the banks of the river. They crying, they weeping. My brother, no, you know that story. What's that movie? Menace to Society. She pick his face up. Ah, my baby. They distressed, man. They toe up from the floor up. Look, photo, image. Three sisters, Phaëthon, lifeless, cold body, crying, weeping, slobbing, the ugly cry, snotting everywhere. The sisters can't stand it. You know, brother, sister, back then, they was real close. You know why they crying. He had all of them close in his heart. Lifeless eyes. He slumped, man. So boom, what happens after that? Last and final story piece. Sororis fiunt arboris, lacrimae fiunt sucina. The sisters become trees. Arboris, arbor, an arborist, arboretum. This is another word for tree. Albert, Alberto is someone named after trees. Arbores, fiunt, they become. The sisters become trees. What type of trees? The English tells us poplar trees. Nina Simone told us the story of poplar trees. Our ancestors, indigenous Negroes in the United States, in the Southeast, Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, so forth, where these poplar trees grow. Tennessee, the state tree, is a poplar tree. An amazing face about the Negro, J. Rogers. We'll get into more of this later. But think about it, family. In the Latin, these sisters become poplar trees. Sorores arbores fiunt, lacrimae fiunt sucina. Lacrimae are tears. If you ever read fairy tale, you remember lacrimae. the water lady. So we got her, the tears, their tears. Sukina is amber. Sukina and fiunt, their tears become as amber. And what is amber? Amber is a golden liquid sap that comes out of trees. It can be used for many, many different things. It also come out the earth. Now, this is amber, family. So when it's talking about their tears become amber, we're looking at something golden, something copper, natural of the earth. These tears are pouring out of these poplar trees for their lost brother. Don't they look like congealed sunlight, family? These sun sisters, these soul sisters become trees. Their photosynthetic light, UV codes, they channel down and hit the banks of the rivers and sprout as trees, family. So now this is sequential art. Remember the previous frame? As we move into the final frame, those three sisters become trees. The brother himself, he becomes the river Phaëthon. Fin. We've reached the end of the story, family. There are some things we can do here at the end, some activities. I'm gonna save this for my youth, but it's important that we consider these things as we continue to learn Latin. There's endings like isimus, which change the meaning. Densus, it means like strong, or there's a certain quality of it. Very, very ferocious. Ferocissimus. It could be fero, ferocimus, which is, ferocious. Ferocissimus is very ferocious. There you have the word densus, which is thick. Densissimus is very thick. And there's a pattern of that, different things. We end up going forward towards the ancient people giving names to animals and places and groups of stars. So when they name these groups of stars after animals or humans or different things, these are called constellations. We can get into the etymology of constellations here soon, but it's important that we consider what is our own constellation, family. Me personally, my sun sign is here in Pisces and Aquarius. My moon sign is also here in Pisces and Aquarius, family. So as we tap in and learn a little bit more about ourselves, we may know that our rising maybe is in Libra. But these sorts of things are important to realize as we ourselves, luminaries, light bodies, light beings, souls, incarnate on this planet Earth, that as above, so below, the stars as within, so without, that there are certain polarities and reflections, afflections, inflections, exflections, infinite flections, and fractions that are connected to us, that are reflected through constellations. You can name your own constellation, you can observe it just like the ancients did. But in the end, we also have to have memory menti. We need to be mindful that there is an end, family. And so it's important. There are different, each of these myths and fables, historical stories, they tell wisdom within their storytelling, right? Think about your tombstone, right? Your tombstone has an epitaph on it, which is a monument, a memory for the person that's buried up under the tombstone. The epitaph is usually written in poetry, poetic verse. So think about it. I would come up with an epitaph for Phaëthon. Phaethon's epitaph might be something like, "Here lieth the son of the sun god, whom overwhelmed by fear in the indulgence of his own joy, dampened and deafened the admonishing voice of his father." Play once, listen twice. live long. Rest in power. Phaëthon. And anyone who's listening, listen to your parents. Listen to the wisdom of the elders around you. Be secure in knowing that we don't know it all, family, that we can learn that it's important to brave the storm and humble ourselves in sight of expert wisdom. I love you all. I say goodbye. Arrivederci. Adios. Until next time, salute. Shing. Alright, now how do we end this? Okay. Start the poll, start the Q&A. Okay, well, I see where we at with this chat filter. We're gonna have more fun on it, fam. Salute.